This is the Skyrocket Fuzz with a boost. It's got NOS germanium parts in it, and that's a metal and wooden enclosure you're looking at. Let's throw it in front of the Fender Deluxe Reverb and hear what it sounds like. Now, at first hearing, that might not sound very fuzzy, but if I turn the pedal off, you'll hear the difference in tone. So with this setting, it's definitely a sprinkler flavouring rather than an all-over blanket of fuzz. But it does also get raucous. And to call it a fuzz is probably not fair. It's also a boost. And that boost can be used independently of the fuzz. So the boost can also be used as an underboost by going left of the center, which will reduce the amount of signal going into the fuzz going into your amp. And this range knob over here adds treble, and over here adds bass. And there sort of keeps your signal as it was. And the boost part is quite useful if you like to roll back the volume on your guitar to underboost your fuzz and get it cleaner. You can just do it with your foot. So it's quite fuzzy now. And that's really useful because you can have, it's kind of like having a preset on your fuzz. Or if you want to go the other way by boosting the fuzz, you can do that too. It does sound pretty gorgeous on the neck pickup of a Strat. And it sounds great in that low fuzzy territory. How crazy does it get? So now that I've got humbuckers, let's push that fuzz up to about, what, 3/4, just over? And right, see what it sounds like. That is lovely. That is doomy as hell and sludgy while still being clear. So there's so much harmonic going on there. There's a rattle that isn't coming from the guitar, and it's a nice rattle. Right, so the fuzz is not all the way up. Let's have a look at this tone knob, because it isn't doing what I thought it might do when I opened it up, and that was middle is not 0. 0 is there, which means your clean tone, not affected by the tone pot. And then as you drop this up, or push it up, sorry, the tone drops down, a bit like a guitar tone would. There are sometimes they're a little bit outside the boundaries of usable, in my opinion. But on the way there, what a hell of a journey. It is stated in the manual by Analogwise Pedals that you get the whole range of the pot, which is why that drops down to 0. You've got 0 signal coming through. And I kind of like that, because if you could use that as a kill switch, which is a strange way to use a kill switch, but you can get some interesting effects with it by using your foot rather than your hand to kill switch. I don't have a kill switch on this guitar, for example, because I've only got one volume and one tone. One volume and one tone. However, there are some areas of this knob that I think are not exactly great, to put it lightly. Let's engage it. I take it back. That sounds awesome. It needs a baritone on it. It needs a baritone. When I was messing around with the pedal before this video, I was on the Strat and I got into that area of the knob and it didn't sound great. Sounds good on that Fireman there. Okay, that sounds blinding. There's clarity still coming through that. It's like I'm playing through a guitar amp and a bass amp at the same time. So you're getting that baritone note coming through with fuzz in there, but you're not losing that original note. At least not in the room with my vintage V30. Right, let's get it a bit more clean. That's what's changed. Earlier I had volume up higher when I was playing with the Strat. Maybe that's not cool. No, that is good. And the tone knob doesn't go from completely brittle to completely dark and clumpy. There's a range on there that still retains the clarity. What a fun fuzz pedal. But what now happens if I boost that sound? I'm genuinely a bit scared. It is noisy! And when you engage the foot switches, there is a pop. And I think if I was going to use this in my rig, the pop is so noticeable that if I was turning the pedal on and off, I would have to have it in a switcher. That is one of the biggest downsides of this, because when it's working, it works beautifully and I'm having a lot of fun. But, and I think it's down to the enclosure, it's a little bit noisy, both in hissy terms and in poppy terms. Does that make any sense? As you saw at the beginning of the video, the enclosure is wooden on the sides and underneath, and this is carbon steel on top. But there's something to be said for a fully metal enclosure to keep all those naughty noises inside. And with these poppy switches, it is starting to show up as a rather noisy pedal. Is that acceptable for I think it's $169 at time of filming? I don't know. It does feel like a boutique pedal that's definitely handmade, and it feels like a little bit more research should have been done into testing it before sending it out. I'm absolutely fine with pedals misbehaving, but when it comes to noise and things like popping, that's a real bad thing. And it might just be some sort of extra part that you need inside to stop the popping. And I did check it. It's not like sometimes when you do pedals, the pop can build up. It's not the case. It's not as if it's built up some sort of internal popping power. It doesn't stop me loving this pedal and loving what Analogwise pedals have done with it. I've got to switch back to a regular tuned guitar, but with some P90s to see how that sounds. Let's go for a sort of mid fuzz with a mid thing on there, and we'll engage the boost in a moment as well. My looper is before the pedal, by the way. So, a one pickup guitar. Let's drop the volume on that and the tone a little bit, giving us some sort of... That's the sign of a good fuzz for me, when you can flip between two different tones like that, and I could do that with the boost. So putting the guitar back up to 10 and just rolling it off there to 8 for both settings. Now let's have more bass on that side and an under boost by about there. So this should be my rhythm tone. Right, I'm going to round this up because this is one of those fuzz pedals, again, I could play for days. The Analogwise pedals Skyrocket Fuzz with booster is exactly that. There's some great tones in this pedal. I've enjoyed everything from that light blues to that thunking baritone. However, there's a few parameters in this that could have been ironed out before the pedal was released. I like that you've got the access to all that different controls, but the noise and the popping has really let it down for me. $169 I think is a great price for something like this. Otherwise you're looking around $100 for something from Electro Harmonix, or go any cheaper. You're not going to get the characteristics of this. And if you're a fuzz head, you'll know what I mean by that. If you're a casual fuzz user, you'll probably be happy with a cheap old Behringer or Big Muff, and that's fine, and welcome to the family. However, if you're into the character fuzzes and you want something that not many other people have at the moment, this is something that is another spice in your spice rack of fuzzes. A big thank you to Analogwise Pedals for trusting me with their pedal. If you like the sounds, there's a link in the video description. Click that and you can find out where to buy one. And I'll see you in the comments section. Let me know what you think down there. Bye-bye!